Hi everyone, it's Terry here, and today I'm sharing a process video for the Day 20 December album cut file, and it's this fun falala one. So I've cut it twice. I've used it the same size that Marie designed it, and I've cut out the cut file from white cardstock, and then I've also cut out just the outer design so that you get the full baubles. And you can see I'm just adding some distress ink and distress oxide to the back of those baubles, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use them and I'm going to create a shaker pocket at each of the baubles. So what I've done is I've just got some acetate out, and I'm going to use the baubles that I've inked as kind of a rough template to cut out circles to fit the front of the falala words. So it doesn't have to be super neat, I just don't want it hanging over the edges too much. So then what I'm going to do is I just add some glue and then stick the acetate straight down flat onto the back of the cut file. I have accidentally previously stuck it to the wrong side and then been in a bit of a pickle. So I'm just using these Sticks 2 foam strips to add foam to the outer edges of each of the bauble on top of the acetate that I've just stuck down. So my tip is don't take off the sticky back before you put the sequins in, because they tend to have a habit of sticking to that foamy outer edge. So I've just added in a couple of different sequin mixers. These are both from the Lucy's shop. They're called Little Things, or it might be Lucy's Cards, but yeah, so they're kind of a festive mix, and then some tiny little gold stars. So I've just taken off the backing of those foam strips and then added the blue inked background baubles to the back. I'm going to use that piece of patterned paper that's from the Joyful Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection this year, the Christmas one, because I really like that kind of candy cane stripe. And I'm just using this green kind of gingham patterned paper from the same collection just to back my photos. So this is going to be day 14 in my album, and it's just documenting our brownie Christmas party. So it's going to have a 6x8 page on the left hand side in my album, and then 2 6x4s on the right hand side. So what I have learnt with doing December daily type albums for the last few years is to try and keep it simple. Try not to make everything too complicated. So I am going to use one of these fab Peartree bits. I can't remember whether these are bits or pieces, but anyway, they're the beautiful acrylic Christmas trees, and they've got a cute little star that goes on top. So I'm going through the Joyful ephemera pack, and I do pull out this cute little squirrel that's holding a present, and another little piece that says magic moments. So I'm just going to add that little tree to the bottom of my photo. So I've tucked the photo under the bauble, and then I've popped the top up on some foam pads just to give it a bit more dimension, but I don't want too much in this album because otherwise they get really thick and chunky. I'm just adding that little banner, and now I'm just moving on to the opposite side where I said I was going to add the 2 6x4s. So I've got a piece of patterned paper that I'm going to use for the top section, and this again is from the Joyful collection. But I kind of want to emulate those baubles that are on the opposite side, and I'm going to use some of the wooden baubles from Peartree. But what I do want to do is actually create some strips of stitching down before I add them on. So just drawing it on with a pencil, and I will go on off camera at the end to add the stitching to that. So I'm focusing back onto the bottom 6x4. I'm going to add a torn strip of this patterned paper over the top of my 6x4 photo, just to add a bit of different dimension. And there's not a lot happening in this photo. Well, there's a lot happening, but it's not the best photo. It's dark, it's a little bit blurred, but it kind of tells the story of the girls having a party, and they've got glow sticks on their wrists, just dancing around to Christmas music with some fairy lights on. So it's all blurred, you can't really see any of the girls, which is actually ideal for this kind of project, because obviously I don't want their identities to be seen online. And actually, if I do a flip through in the book, you won't actually see any of them either. So I'm just pulling out these stickers to use for the word party, and I've also added in some of the little stars off it onto the left hand side. And then those were some word stickers from the Rosie's Studio collection. I think it just says, "Oh, what fun." And then I'm just using this older Amy Tangerine Alpha just to put brownies, just so it simply states exactly what it is. And then I'll add a little bit of journaling just underneath where those baubles are going to be on the right hand side of that 6x4. To keep this page tied in with some of the other ones in my album, I am just doing a doodly border across there. And when I come to stitch those strips for the wooden pieces, I am going to stitch along those lines that are holding the baubles together on the left hand 6x8 page as well, and it ties them in together. So here you have my finished pages for day 14 of my December album. So I've also used the fab numbers that Marie made. I'm really loving them because they're a nice size and they work perfectly. So thank you for joining me on YouTube today. Don't forget to subscribe.